The words used in the Zohar over here are Mari de Chushbana, which means a master of reckoning. And Chassidim over the generations have spent a lot of time analyzing what this means. What does it mean, Mari de Chushbana? A master. Baal Cheshbon.
That's an accountant.
You should, right? As a person who makes a cheshbon, what's up? What? Thank you. What is a Mari de Chushbana? What is a Baal Cheshbon? So Chassidim explain that if you're making an accounting in your business, there's a difference if you are the owner, if you're the Mari, the Baal, the owner, or if you're an employee. And the difference is in two ways. Difference number one is that the owner is much more careful. The person who's just doing his job, okay, so he misses a number here, a number over here, a detail over here, but the owner who wants to get a precise number and a precise picture of what's going on in his or her business is going to be much more careful. That's number one. But more importantly is that the owner, when he makes a cheshbon, the result of the cheshbon is going to bother him or make him or gratify him, much more so than the person who is the employee, because he is personally invested in it. So when the Zohar tells us we have to be a Mari de Chushbana, it means that you have to be personally invested. You're not just doing something. Your Torah mitzvahs comes with full investment. You're not just doing it as an employee. There's a story that in the 1910s, is that what you call it? The 1910s, the 19-teens. So it was a very, very turbulent time in Eastern Europe, in Befrat and Russia. And I believe it was the 1910s, maybe it was the 1900s. It was it was definitely between 1900 and 1917. And probably between 1914. And at that time, there was efforts made in Russia to have mandatory secular studies introduced as part of the curriculum for anyone in yeshivas and also for anyone who wants to become a rav. Mandatory from the government. You have to study certain secular topics, and all the Gedolei Yisrael were against it. All the Gedolei Yisrael were against it. At a certain point in time, there was a Ve'ida, there was a big conference which included many of the Gedolei Yisrael. So the fifth Lubavitcher Rebbe, the Rebbe Rashab was there, and Reb Chaim Brisker was over there. And I'm sure other Gedolei, although I just don't remember the names of the other great ones who were there. And what happened was that the Russian minister came in and he said that if you're going to fight us on this, we are going to unleash 1,000 pogroms throughout Russia. And the Gedolim over there felt that they can't fight. And I mean, you have to remember, this was during these times, during the 1800s and the 1890s, there were many pogroms in Kiev and different places in Ukraine, in White Russia, many government-sponsored pogroms, because the royal family then was in trouble. So one way to ease the trouble was to let the people let out their frustration on the Yidden. The Rebbe Rashab got up and he gave a speech, and he was very passionate. And among the words he said were some words that are very famous in Chassidus Chabad. He said that it was not by our will that we were taken out of Galus, and it is not Leibrit Sinenu, not by our will were we taken out. Leibrit Sinenu, not with our will will we have the Geula, which was directed against the Zionists, which was a very strong party at the time. We know that they're going to force the Geula. And then Avinu Malkeinu, our father, our king, he put us in Galus, and he'll take us out when the time is right. However, let the entire world know that only our bodies are in Galus, and not our neshamas, not our souls. And therefore, anything which is related to Torah mitzvahs, we are not under the dominion of anyone, We are free in that area. And when he finished this, he fainted. He fell on the floor in a faint. And he was immediately placed in house arrest for this rebellious speech. And he was he was partially ill. In other words, from the impact of. So whether it was later that day or the next day, he got a visit from Reb Chaim Brisker. And Reb Chaim Brisker comes in. He came in to visit, and he sees that the Rebbe Rashab is sitting by the table and he's crying. So he says, "Lebavitch Rebbe, for was weinst du? Why are you crying? You did all you could." And the Rebbe Rashab answered, "Yeah, aber der Inyan hat sich nicht aufgetan." But I didn't accomplish. In other words, yeah, I did all I could, but the bottom line is, the Gzeira is still there. Yeah.
Nothing accomplished.
And the Rebbe repeated the story, and the Rebbe said, that's a mori de chushbana. A master is when you take responsibility. Some people, okay, so I have to learn Torah, I have to do mitzvahs, because I have to rake up the good points, and it's all about being an employee. Tell me what to do, and I will do it. And ultimately, what is wanted from us, the Zohar tells us to be a mari de chushbana. A master of reckoning means that it becomes our own business, it becomes our own thing. And when it comes your own thing, then when you're successful, you take incredible joy. And when chas v'shalom, if you're not successful, then you're pained by it. Why? You did everything good. Yeah, but that's not the point. Whether I did everything I could, it's my agenda that has become mine.